Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.
Hello, first of all, thank you for your time. Block Energy has been operating in Georgia for more than 6 years now. It's interesting how you evaluate recent events. I mean, the adoption of so-called Russian law created quite a turbulence. So what do you think about the situation?
We tend to just focus on the business. Clearly, we closely track political events, of course, but essentially what's most important for us is that business as usual for the company. We continue to produce our hydrocarbons, which get sold into the local market, of course, and we continue to contribute to Georgia's energy demands. So for us, it's business as usual.
You don't expect some kind of negative influence maybe in the future for your investment plans or general on your work?
No, we don't think so, actually. And it's not just Block Energy that's taking that position. Look around of some of the significant contracts that are being awarded to foreign investment throughout Georgia. And I think, again, it's business as usual for the country. I think, Georgia remains a fantastic place to do business, and it continues to stand out amongst its peer group in terms of, providing a very straightforward business environment.
Okay, let's move on to Block Energy's work. And how was 2023 and the current year for the company? And please tell us about the numbers, how much investment you made, and how much oil and gas was extracted during this period of time.
Yeah, so for 2023 was essentially, saw a bit of a shift towards what we now define our strategic project, if you like, or strategic initiative that's been developed internally. And that's a very substantial gas project that sits in the lower horizons, that sit below where we produce our oil and current gas from. So the focus for the company has been on maintaining baseline production levels, whilst also advancing a strategic interest in a project. We've defined it as Project 3. So that is a multi-TCF gas, appraisal gas project that is currently subject to farm out, and where we've engaged a local or a UK-based investment bank that's energy focused to assist us with those endeavours, which is essentially focused towards bringing in a partner to develop those resources. But the resource is significant. It could make a significant contribution to Georgia's current energy demands, and also see excess being deployed back into Europe. So that's the focus as we stand today.
Which bank is this? Which is your partner now in this project? And can you tell us investment amount of this project? So
the lead advisor on the project is a company called Lab Energy Advisors. They're a UK-based, typically focused on the upstream energy advisory. So essentially what they do is they assist the company with identifying targeted investors, which typically are focused on industry. So securing industry partners to come in and join us on the development of the project. The initial phase of appraisal for this project is around $30 million. And we see that CapEx profile being deployed over an approximate 12 to 18 month time frame. And then on success would mean de-risking, ultimately the production of the volumes that we attribute to Project 3 would then see an investment north of $50 to $80 million as part of phase 1 development.
Now, what are the numbers of extracted oil and gas? Is this numbers increasing, and are you satisfied with these results?
We're satisfied because the company continues to grow and develop itself. So oil flows are covering costs and giving us the ability to pursue our strategic projects. But like any nimble oil and gas company, we want to move faster. But the speed is often tied to obviously the capital constraints and what you have to spend to accelerate development of some key projects. But so far so good. We're getting very good interest, which again kind of feeds back into your initial question. What's our view on the political environment and has it impacted business?
As I know, Block Energy has 5 main projects in Georgia. So what are their current status?
Project 1, which is essentially captures current oil and gas production, is moving along at a steady pace. That project covers the cost of the company, enables us to recycle some free cash back into developing our strategic projects. So that's business as usual. Project 2 is being developed by our engineers here in Georgia and subsurface team, supported by our team in the UK. So there's a plan being developed on Project 2. Project 3 we've covered. That's the farm out process that is gathering some pace now. Project 4 is a project in which is, if you like, a passive interest for Block Energy at the moment. It's significant, but it's being developed by a local oil and gas company here in Georgia. They're in the driver's seat on that one. They're currently farming out that project, and again, more interest from foreign investors in that project, which only highlights the fact that Georgia remains an interesting destination for foreign investment. And then we have our carbon capture and storage project, which is a strategic project for us, and one of which is getting a hell of a lot of attention at the moment, both internally from my team of engineers and subsurface, as well as externally from third-party advisors that are helping us design a measurement and monitoring process as part of moving towards our first pilot study, which would be the injection of carbon into some depleted reservoirs that we have throughout our licenses. That project's starting to look really exciting, and the team are moving that along with some speed, so it's good.
Can you tell us more details about where is this project location and the investment plans?
Yeah, so the project was defined by an independent advisory firm in the UK that essentially screens some of our depleted reservoirs across our core asset, which is Block 11B and 11F, which is where we're located today, actually. It was defined that we had up to around 140 million tonnes of carbon storage available within a reservoir that has been producing since the early 70s actually out here. That reservoir is now depleted, and it offers itself to carbon storage basically. There's a certain characteristic with the reservoir that enables us to, if you like, transform carbon into a limestone rock within a 12-month period. It's quite a unique process, and it's due to the geological composition of the rock that we'd be injecting carbon into. That project is located in and around the Rustavi Industrial Centre. So we have, there's a fair amount of carbon being emitted into the atmosphere within that project location, which we are now running studies on with our experts in the UK and overseas that would see us basically capturing that carbon and injecting it down into some of our depleted reservoirs. And we hope to advance a pilot on that basis sometime this year, and we look forward to discussing it further with you.
What are your new projects and also your plans for this year?
Yeah, I think plans for this year remain pretty much focused on farming out and finding a partner for our gas project. That is absolutely, mission critical for the company. It's a strategic project that we want to advance, so all resources are focused on moving that along. And developing the carbon capture and storage project. That seems to be moving at quite a pace actually. And we think, given the current environment and the unique characteristics available to us as part of developing that project, the project demands real focus and would benefit from development with speed. So those are the key focuses for this year.
Block Energy has a new project with Georgian Oil Gas.
Yes.
Tell us more about this project. What's your partnership about?
Partnering up with Georgian Oil Gas for Block Energy was a significant move in the company's history, and essentially that partnership is now captured under Project 4, and Georgian Oil Gas are located in and around Block's core licences. So there are some non-core areas within Block's licences which form part of the non-core and core areas of Georgian Oil and Gas's portfolio. So it made sense just to put those projects together so we could capture the entire upside of the structures that have been defined, and give Georgian Oil and Gas the support when needed for them to develop those projects, again at breakneck speed. So the relationship is very simple. It's a very straightforward JV, whereby we seek to unitize existing license areas, creating one large license, which then complements the farm out process of Georgian Oil and Gas. They have a reserve base, over 1 billion barrels of oil. There's a lot of gas throughout their portfolio as well. So when we combine Georgian Oil and Gas's portfolio and opportunities with our opportunity set on a unified basis, it's a significant opportunity for any large industry player, hence why the partnership works.
So again, I wanted to ask you about your expectations and also some numbers about extracted oil and gas. Are these numbers increasing?
Yeah, I mean the numbers remain pretty flat at the moment because at the moment we're focused on developing our current projects which don't require us to drill more and produce more hydrocarbons, albeit that is certainly the future. For us, we see on a successful farm out of Project 3, gas production ramping up at least in phase 1 to around 150 million cubic feet a day, following a approximate $50 to $60 million investment.
This year?
So no, we see that effort would kick off, I'll say around H1 next year, following successful farm out. So the initial production volumes are 150 million cubic feet a day, ramping up to 300 million cubic feet a day. So those are the target production profiles, and in parallel to that, whilst we develop our CCS strategy, we're targeting, if we can achieve what we're setting out to achieve, over the next 12 to 18 months as part of that project, we could well be, a leading, upstream, zero net carbon energy company, built, founded, established in Georgia.
And do you have any new discoveries in your licensed area?
We certainly have some compelling targets to be drilled, and that is the plan over the coming, the coming 6 to 12 months. So no new discoveries, but we've worked up some pretty significant targets as part of our Project 3 plan. If we can get those drilled, I think it'll be an exciting time, not only for Block Energy, but for Georgia.
Thank you for your time and for interesting interview. Good luck.
My pleasure. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
The Checkpoints is presented by pharmaceutical company GM Pharma.